everybody, welcome to the Fin Factor. I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
This is episode number 255. I just want to make a special note, two things. One, we do have a special guest sitting off screen in studio right now. Debbie's here. Cookie Debbie, can you put your hand out there? Say hi. There she is. So she's in here. That's why she's not in the chat. But if you guys want to say something, she is definitely here for it.
I'd say it's cookieless Debbie.
It's cookieless Debbie. But Debbie actually also came with other things, which we will be bringing up in just a second. But I want to address something else. Now, Aaron in the chat just said, Paul spilled some pumpkin spice latte. I'd never had one before, so I tasted some of Aaron's, and yeah, it wasn't that good. I don't know why he enjoys it that much.
What I said.
It's definitely yours. Definitely yours. So anyway, those are the facts as we see them here on the show. However, let's go back to Debbie and something that she brought for us as a gift. I just thought it was really cool. I wanted to show you guys just to make you jealous. Yeah. Aaron, you want to start off with, well, we'll do them both here.
Yeah.
So this, there's Aaron's right there.
Charcuterie board, little serving board here.
And I have one similar. And it's, now, Debbie, or Aaron, if you know, because she doesn't have a mic, who is it that did this now? What was the purpose on this one?
We'll put it up on the screen here. I'll turn it that way.
Okay.
This is it Roseanne Graving?
Roses.
Rose's Graving?
Her last name is Roses.
Roses Engraving.
Roses Engraving.
There you go.
And you can follow them on Instagram. Check it out. In fact, did they post this one on there? They did post one of these. One of these ones. Yeah, on their Instagram page, so you can see it. And if you have anything to order, go check it out, because they do hats, they do some other stuff, and they will do the laser etching on it, so it looks really cool.
It does look really cool. And I was just joking with super producer Jason. I said, this actually works really well because my son likes to have his meat plates, which is the charcuterie thing, but he just takes the...
no cheese, just all meat.
Well, mostly, he likes prosciutto. He just, I swear to God, he took like 2 packages of prosciutto, opened the whole thing, and dumped it on a plate.
Says the kid who had prosciutto sandwiches every day
that was
school.
Me. That was
and
me.
Hated it and traded my peanut butter and jelly for that.
Kellen, you're fantastic. Yes, a charcuterie board. Hey, again, thank you so much for the lovely gift. It's really awesome, and I can't wait to use that, or at least let my son use it, because I know he'll get a kick out of that. Okay, guys, Sharks, hockey, stuff. Here we go. Aaron, the Sharks made a trade.
They did,
and it was a trade for a defenseman. And this is something that we were hoping for a long time. Ryan Ellis. Now, some people are a little bit confused. Ryan Ellis not going to play, not for the Sharks at least, right? So he hasn't played since, I think, was it 2021?
21. Correct.
Okay, so he will be on essentially IR, just essentially taking up some cap space, right? The Sharks, what happened here is they give up 2 contracts and they take back 1 contract, which brings them down to, I believe it was 50 now. Right, so now they are okay in terms of having 50 contracts at the start of the season. There's no penalty there, or whatever the case would be. On the way out, Aaron, who did we have to let go to bring in? Ryan
Artem Guriev. Not going to work here anymore. 2021.
Oh, I can't lie. It was, a lot less,
He's a 2021 5th-round draft pick.
Yeah.
And real quick, that 2021 draft class, this is William Eklund's draft class.
Oh, yeah.
William Eklund fell to, this was Doug Wilson's also last draft as GM, or I guess his son, Doug Wilson Jr. And William Eklund fell into his lap. Everyone else they drafted, minus Ethan Cardwell in the 4th round, is gone in this 21 draft. That's not good. That was not a good draft for the Sharks. So anyway, he was gone, and Carl Grundstrom was also traded, which kind of freed up that one of those 3rd, 4th line spots that the Sharks kind of had a logjam at as well.
Yeah, and we had talked about, and I think on previous shows, even some people had said, I can do without Grundstrom, I can do without Ty Dellandrea, right? And for me, Barclay Goodrow didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I guess Warsofsky really likes Goodrow on that 4th line now with Ryan Reeves, and with it was Gaudette is centering them.
Yeah.
And I cannot figure out what episode it was, and I was trying to find it from last year, where I had said, I would really like, and I know everyone's going to hate me, I would love to have Ryan Reeves on this team protecting Macklin Celebrini. And it took him a year, but obviously they watched the show and they figured it out, they put it together. So Ryan Reeves, I'm happy to have him on the roster. We haven't really talked about him a whole heck of a lot, but I'm happy to have him on the roster. What's your take on Ryan Reeves? I know there's history, of course, but...
Well, he's one of those guys that you want on your team and not to play against, right? And the Sharks kind of do this in their history, too, with, what was it, Rafi Torres. Thank you. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. Rafi Torres. he's a very vocal person, and I feel like the Sharks have been lacking this kind of person. Mario Ferraro's in there, and he's talking a lot. And again, apparently we're going to have an announcement tomorrow on who the Sharks captain is. We can get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But there's not as many vocal people as there used to be in the locker room. When you lose Joe Thornton, you lose Pavelski, you lose a couple of these guys over the years that are very vocal in the locker room. It changes the atmosphere, changes kind of the chemistry and everything on there. So they brought in Ryan Reeves, and whose locker is he right next to?
Right next to Mac, yeah.
And who's on the other side of Mac?
It was Smith, isn't it?
Toffoli.
No, Toffoli, okay.
Yeah, so he's surrounded by
on the other side of Mac.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, my bad.
The other side of
yeah.
Mac is Toffoli. So they're surrounding Mac and Celebrini with veterans who are also going to be there to protect him, not just on the ice, off the ice. So I'm expecting, again, we'll get into this a little bit, but I'm expecting Celebrini to be named the captain, and they're going to have both of those guys there for post-locker room interviews. Those other two guys are going to be there, and they're going to be very vocal to help him out.
Yeah.
So I think this was more of not so much what Ryan Reeves brings on the ice, because he's 38 years old. He still has it. We saw him lay a giant hit in the preseason game. So he's still playable, but he's not going to be playing 82 games.
Right.
I think he's going to be in and out of the lineup, partially because of his age and his body just decaying, playing that way, right? But he's going to be very vocal, and he's going to be around the locker room. Even when he's not on the ice, he's going to be around. He's going to be there. You're going to feel his presence. He really lightens the mood, brings some leadership qualities, is a veteran presence for these younger guys. I think it's a great move. It's only a 1-year contract. He's going to be doing a lot for this organization. Yeah. And I think even he was shocked that the Sharks called him. when he first said it, he's like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm going to be going to San Jose after all these years in Vegas and playing against them and all the chirping and everything going on. So I'm on board with it. I'm fine with it. It's nothing but good things for the Sharks.
I mean, I think Ryan Reeves is actually going to have a decent season goal scoring wise. You know why? Remember the last big enforcer we had was John Scott. He had 2 goals his entire career. Then he played 1 season with San Jose and got 2 more goals in that 1 season. He doubled his output playing with the San Jose Sharks.
So much so he got to the All-Star game.
And was the MVP of the All-Star game. So,
hey
man, it could happen. So, anyway.
So you're saying Ryan Reeves will be the Sharks All-Star?
Yes. All-Star representative Ryan Reeves.
I think they've already fixed that loophole. I don't think you can do that anymore.
In any case, no, I'm excited to have Ryan Reeves on the team. It's that tough veteran presence. If you look at some of these videos about like best chirps in the NHL or whatever, God, Revo's on there quite a bit. And he's got some really good chirps. I think one guy was like, hey, I'm not afraid. He goes, you're not? You're like the only guy in the NHL. That's awesome. And he just like cheering him on, So, no, it's great to have a guy like that, especially right next to who we think future captain material there, Mac and Celebrini. I think it's going to be announced just like you're saying, too. And we'll get to that in just a bit. But let's take a look at before we do the graphic for the opening night roster, let's take a look at what we thought would be the opening night roster. If you can get that correct graphic. I know we were kind of messing with you a little bit on the graphics beforehand here.
I think he already reprogrammed it. I don't know if he still has it or not.
Oh, okay. Well, nope, that's not it. Okay, it's the Puckpedia one that has, nope, the other one.
What? Yeah, you're screwing him up.
We mixed them up. I know. It's okay. It's the Puckpedia one that has Misa as the second line center. That's the one. That's what I thought was going to be the case. Thank you, producer Jason. Jeff Skinner, Mac and Celebrini, Will Smith, I thought would be the first line. Misa, Toffoli, and Eklund worked together for quite a bit, I think, in preseason, like the lines that they had during the practices and whatnot. And for me, that was that other 70s line, right? Because you're replacing 71 with 77. And then as the lines were up there, you guys can take a look at those afterwards if you'd like. But the actual opening night role, my God, really? Wow. Fantastic. The actual opening night roster now, if you can get this one right now, is the other Puckpedia one. If we can go ahead and put that one up, and we'll see exactly what they're going to do now, what's been announced. Celebrini centering Kurashev and Smith, so still with Smith there, but not with Jeff Skinner as I thought.
It is interesting they're keeping Smith with Celebrini.
Yeah, I don't know how interesting that is, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's
he wasn't going to play center. You knew he was going to play wing.
Right.
It made sense to keep him with his buddy. Wenberg centering Eklund and Toffoli. Delandria centering Graf and Skinner. Gaudette centering Barclay Goodrow and Ryan Reeves. Now, that was that fourth line that they really did like. Warsaw was talking about that. And, of course, on defense here, Nick Leddy, Klingberg, Ferraro, Liljegren, Orlov, Mook, Madulin. And then in the press box, this one surprised me. Misa sitting out for at least the first game here.
We don't know for sure. That's just what we're speculating.
That's where they've got him right now, at least.
Yeah.
And then in the press box again, Dickinson and Desharnais. Now, Dickinson and Desharnais had been paired up quite a bit. The pairings here have been paired up quite a bit throughout the offseason, right? And preseason and the camps and everything else. So I was expecting maybe that Sam Dickinson might not make that opening roster. So everything there made sense to me. But man, I was really thinking that Misa was going to get on that opening night roster. And again, it may happen, but as they've announced it 2 days before opening night, why would they announce that and then make a change, right?
Well, they didn't announce the lines. That's just what they were practicing with today.
Okay.
So we can show this. Do the other graphic, Jay. This is the opening night rosters from the last 3 years.
There we go. He's on point.
This one is interesting. So I have 2 guys highlighted here in orange. The only 2 guys that have been on this roster, opening night roster for the last 3 years, William Eklund and Mario Ferraro. Everybody else has changed. Now let's go through just a couple of these to remember some guys. Let's go 23-24 roster. This was the worst, I think, Sharks roster, opening night roster they've had in a long time. So bad that they are the ones that ended up getting Celebrini at the end of the season, right? They got the first overall pick. So Barabanov, Duclair, Granlund. I mean, some of these guys aren't even in the league anymore. Mike Hoffman's no longer in the league. He couldn't play after this.
Yeah.
Bordelow's now traded. Hurdle is now on Vegas.
The bank's still looking for a job.
Zadina, another guy that went back. I think he went back to the Czech Republic. Like he's no longer in the NHL. Matt Benning. Look at the defensemen. Yeah. Benning, Emberson, Knizhov, Thrun, Burrows, Ferraro, Ruta, Vlasic. Of those, Ferraro, Emberson are the only ones currently in the and Burrows. I think are currently in the NHL. Benning, Thrun, and I think Ruta went overseas already. I think he went to Sweden. But they're not in the NHL. They got sent down through waivers. So there's 2 current NHL defensemen. 3, I guess. 3.5. 2.5. Vlasic is bought out. Yeah. He's not playing on a team. So that's only 2 years ago. And those guys aren't like, other than Vlasic, none of them are really that old.
Yeah. Right? I will say this. You take a look at the 24-25 and you see Jake Wallman there. And Wallman was the one that we got from Detroit along with a second.
Correct.
And now he just got paid $7 million.
7 by 7,
7
right?
by 7.
Yeah. Good for him, man.
Absolutely.
Happy for him. Vanacek and Blackwood on last year's goalies. And, oh, man, Kakinen. You remember Capo Kakinen? Yeah, that's another throwback. Going into like just last season, there's still a lot of guys that are gone.
Yeah.
Like not even in the NHL. So such a big turnover in just 2 seasons, even from last season. Just interesting to see all these names in here.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway.
Okay. Well, any big surprises? Anything that you thought might be different here? Again, for me, I was hoping Misa would be. I know you said not announced, but realistically, if that's the lines that they had, I don't think that they're going to make changes to that. So
I don't know. They're going to have practice tomorrow a little bit, right?
So we'll see.
The first game's on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any announcement. Well, you usually be watching Sheng Peng or Max, right? One of those guys, and they're pushing the lines out through like X or whatever it is, and so you'll have a good idea of what they're practicing with. But with Misa kind of being on the outside, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of just again shield him a little bit, give him again the Will Smith treatment, right? Have some days off here and there. Maybe the first game, just kind of see what both teams at full strength is going to look like. Maybe that's good for him. I don't know. Or maybe they do. Maybe they insert him into the lineup. I mean, who knows? Yeah. At this point.
Yeah, I think he's going to get that Will Smith treatment. Yeah. So he's going to be kind of bouncing in and out of the lineup. I wouldn't be surprised if it's also based on the opponent they're playing against. Same with Dickinson. They kind of see on a stronger team or a weaker team. Vegas is a stronger team. They're slated to come out of the Western Conference on top, so one of the top teams. So maybe they're trying to go a little bit more veteran heavy instead of playing some of their rookies.
Yeah.
And then some other teams when they play, let's say Anaheim or Seattle or some other weaker teams in the Pacific Division, maybe they start playing the younger guys and give the veterans some breaks. Like you'll see Ryan Reeves maybe get a break in one of these games.
Yeah.
So I still think they're gonna get in, and I'm still not ruling out that they're out for Thursday's game. I think it would be great for them to both get in for Thursday's game and just get it over with, right? First game of season, you get to they're going to be there anyway because they always do the entire roster. Even the press box guys are all dressed up and they come out and announce each player and they line up and do all that stuff. So they're going to be out there dressed up anyway. I don't think it's that out of the question that they could be in the lineup still.
Yeah, I just don't see it. But I mean, again, fingers crossed. Again, that was something that I was really hoping for. I think it's a missed almost business opportunity, right? To kind of just let the fans, everybody's excited about opening night, right? That's one of the big nights of the year is opening night, obviously fan appreciation night. And there's a couple sprinkled throughout that are big deal games. This is a big deal game. This is where you're going to get a big draw of people there. And I feel like this is one of those times where, guys, we already know the Sharks are going to be the best team that's out there, right? If you have a big draw of people coming to watch these players, specifically looking for these young guns and seeing what they're going to be doing, for the rest of their careers. You're getting to see their start right now.
Right.
That's exciting for them, right? What's up?
I got a comment here.
Okay.
I'm watching with my wife. Can you guys explain
CJ.
why it's a good time to be a Sharks fan? You guys can explain it in a much more beautiful way than I can. I'm trying to get Mrs. CJ to watch the Sharks this year. Go on. You're already starting to go.
I mean, I don't know that I can explain it any more beautifully than you, but I mean, again, this is like you've planted the seeds and you're starting to watch that flower bloom, right? Mm-hmm. It's coming out of the ground right now. You're seeing these young players that are going to be the faces of the franchise for the next decade plus. Right. Imagine you've always likened it to the Warriors, right? When Steph and Clay and Draymond were just starting out. Mm-hmm. That's basically what this is right now. Now, they may not be like very good, but you're going to be able to see them where they started and how great they're going to be in just a few years. Seeing them now and where they started from, and then being able to see where they're going. And again, there's so many guys that are so good. You're not just sitting there watching one player and how good that one player is going to be. You're looking at Celebrini getting even better than he already is. Again, this is a guy that led the NHL in zone entries or whatever the stat was as an 18-year-old rookie. An 18-year-old rookie, not just a rookie. He's a baby still. Are you kidding me? So being able to see him on a second year growing along with Will Smith, Michael Misa, Sam Dickinson when they do get in the lineup. William Eklund, we don't talk about him as a rookie because he's not really a rookie anymore, but he's a young guy. So being able to see all of these guys growing together and then the skill level is just going to get better and better and better as the years go on. For me, that is the reason that I would be sitting down watching the Sharks, and hopefully that was beautiful enough for you because that's as best as I can do it. Aaron. Yes.
Yeah, what do you say? No, it's right now you're seeing these guys are going to be dominating, going to be cup contenders in the 2030s, the entire decade of the 2030s. We're not that far away now from that. 4 years from now, 4 or 5 seasons from now, they are going to be cup contenders. And they're going to be for a long time because they're so young and they're getting all that experience now. So what we're going to be witnessing now is the spurts of greatness.
Yes.
But they're not going to be consistently great through all 82 games because there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be ups and downs. And again, who was it that said it? Was it Allen last year? It said it, Hoshida, that the trajectory is not always flat. It goes up and down.
Yeah.
Up and down. And it slowly goes up and down, up and down. And that's what we're seeing right now. So it's going to be it's much better hockey. They may not be winning, but it is exciting, and there's always going to be something happening, and they're going to be even closer games than they were last year. Last year they led the league with, I want to say it was 31 or 32 games. They lost by 1 goal.
Yeah.
And
if they can improve on just that,
half of those games,
yeah,
you turn half those games into wins. That's 30 points in the standings. It's a big jump. So we're going to get into that a little bit later.
I mean, it's kind of like you're saying up, down, but it's kind of like putting your money into like PG&E stock. It's not going to like spike, but it's just constantly going to just slow rising, right? So I feel like that's what we're going to be seeing.
We're giving no advice
none
for
whatsoever.
money.
No financial advice at all. Oh my God! Except maybe from him. I don't know. Anyway, there was a name here that was screwing us up when we were trying to make these rosters, and the name was Jack Thompson.
Yes.
Jack Thompson is starting the season on the IR conveniently. The reason it's convenient is because he doesn't count towards that roster spot, so they can have 23 without pushing him down, because if they push him down to the AHL, he goes through waivers, and another team can claim him. Now, some are saying he wouldn't be claimed because he didn't really impress anybody in the preseason. However, he does have a track record of being that guy that's on that fringe, and I think somebody might pluck him just to have that extra defenseman waiting in the wings.
Maybe, but to claim somebody off of waivers, you have to put them in your NHL lineup. You
Yes.
can't claim them and then put them in your minor league. You have to claim
In your
them,
roster.
Sorry, on the roster.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
on the roster. So that would take up one of the 23 spots that you
Exactly.
have to have. The way I would see it is if there's an injury to a team and they needed a right-handed shot defenseman to fill in because he's a serviceable NHL caliber 7th defenseman.
Sure.
At minimum, I think. So yes and no. It also depends on how many players and contracts the other teams have because they would have to have space. A lot of teams don't like to use all 50 like the Sharks are doing because they like to have some wiggle room in case they want to make a trade or bring on a contract or sign somebody or something else.
I feel like most teams are going to have at least a contract or two in terms of that wiggle room. And it wouldn't be out of the question to think that a team is going to have a guy on a two-way contract on the NHL roster right now that if they did claim Jack Thompson, they could push that guy to the AHL and he would go through with no problem going through waivers. So again, they're kind of safeguarding Jack Thompson here by placing him on the IR. Now, is he actually hurt or is this a Mark Stone situation?
I don't think it's a Mark Stone
Bringing him out for
situation.
playoffs, buddy.
But I think they are delaying the inevitable of making a decision. Maybe a trade's not in place yet, and they're waiting for something to kind of get through here.
And that's kind of where I was going with this. Is I wouldn't be surprised, and you guys probably shouldn't be surprised if you happen to see a trade coming with a defenseman going out, right? Or as the Sharks already did, they brought a contract that they're obviously not going to use, but it is a contract coming in and sending 2 contracts out to kind of balance that out, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that because they are up against the amount of contracts that they can have with exactly 50. So if they do want to have a little bit of wiggle room for, when trade deadline comes or something like that, they're going to need to start unloading a couple of these contracts as the season goes on. So that was the main thing with Jack Thompson. Now, because Jack Thompson is on IR and he's not a part of the roster, and the Sharks don't have 9 defensemen, which is ridiculous, Colin Graff can now slot in and doesn't need to be the only guy that can go through waivers, totally exempt, and get into the AHL. And I'm glad that they're having him on the NHL roster because he deserves that spot. And I'm glad that they found a way to make it a 23-man roster without losing Jack Thompson, but still having Colin Graff up with the big club.
And also having Misa and Dickinson available and not sent back to their OHL team.
Yes.
Now, for those who don't quite know or understand, because they're 19 years old and they're not 20, Misa and Dickinson are not eligible to go play for the Barracuda. You have to be 20 years old, or if you play in the OHL, you have to go back to your OHL team. So in that case, both of them play in the OHL, and they have to go CHL, whatever.
It's the OHL.
They're both in the OHL, right?
So the CHL is like the umbrella for the other leagues. So there's the WHL, the OHL, and the QMJHL, and those are all under the CHL umbrella.
Yeah, I know Dickinson was on London Knights. Who was Misa on?
Misa was, I want to say Saginaw, but that might be wrong. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Saginaw Spirit.
That's what I can remember if that was CHL. But anyway, they would have to go back to those teams, and they've already absolutely dominated those leagues. So their development would kind of hit a plateau, really, because they can't really do much more. They've already destroyed those leagues. They need to be playing against bigger and better competition.
Yes.
So
in fact, they would do even more damage in those leagues than they did in the previous season because guys are moving out of that league and younger guys are coming into that league. So you're only going to be playing against worse competition than you already dominated. So it really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And that's why the rule for this is so frustrating, right? Although they are doing some things now where guys can go into the NCAA, which is a nice step, right? Yeah. But I don't think that's in the cards for these guys at all. So I'm, again, glad that they're on the roster. They'll get in. They'll get their time eventually.
Dickinson would not be eligible for the NCAA because he signed his entry-level contract before I think they even put that into place. But I think if you sign your entry-level contract, I don't know if you're able to play in the NCAA because you're no longer an amateur. But the rules are funky because you do get paid at the CHL level a certain amount. So it's confusing for us, and we are the so-called experts.
I never claimed that.
Yeah. Not this stuff.
Just absolutely freaking embarrassing.
It is freaking embarrassing. I guess the last thing here is the goaltenders. Obviously, we know these two guys, Askarov and Nedeljkovic.
Yes.
I'm pretty impressed with Nedeljkovic. Looking at him through the preseason games that they've done so far.
He's a good goalie. Yeah. He's a goalie that he could take over games. So if Askarov kind of has a slide, because he's he's still a rookie.
Sure.
Nedeljkovic can come in and take the reins, for a couple weeks at a time here. Or if Askarov gets hurt, they're in a safe spot. So they also are going to be competing with one another and pushing each other to be better, which is always good. You want a competition, especially in goal, because you're going to push the other one to be even better than what they would normally be playing if that position was handed to them. So, we got to see him in the preseason. He had a great showing in 2 of the games that he played. We'll see if he get another goal and assist out of him in a single game. He is the only goaltender in the NHL to ever get a goal and an assist in the same game. So that's pretty cool.
Offensive dynamo.
Yeah, watch out. Someone said earlier that Reeves is going to score more goals than... oh my God.
You mean Nedeljkovic is going to score more goals than Reeves?
No. Reeves.
Oh.
Reeves is going to score more than... who's the jersey you have? I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, Gregor?
Gregor, yes. Maybe Nedeljkovic is going to score more than Gregor this year.
Come on.
Extremely disappointing. Downright embarrassing.
Honestly, I could see Revo punching a couple in. I could, but he's not going to be. He's not going to be putting a lot, but I could see him punching a couple in.
2
in Teal. Why not?
Maybe one. Like
I said,
it's going to be a rebound. He's going to be crushing.
Match John Scott's production. That's all I'm saying.
Perfect.
I'm really happy to have Revo. I really am. So, okay. Moving on from that, I don't think we already did the graphic with the projected lineups.
Yes.
We don't need to confuse them with that anymore.
Correct.
So we're solid there.
Yes.
We do have. Oh my God! Why do you keep doing that? So for those on the podcast, every time I freak out again, it's because super producer Jason keeps putting what's his name? Vinny Darnay. Keeps putting Vinny Darnay up on the screen.
Right there.
That's the thumbnail.
We'll
That's the thumbnail.
Look like you're riding his back.
Crichton, welcome to Basic Membership.
Thank you
so much. Appreciate you supporting the show on a monthly basis there. Man, that's I'm just out of sorts right now because of the whole Darnay thing. But you want to go ahead? You're the membership guy. Go ahead.
I'm the membership guy.
You
are.
are.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining the membership. If anyone else is interested, you can do that as well on the YouTube homepage. I think somewhere on there is a button that you can click to become a member.
Just read it.
Was it? Just read it. Oh, just read it. Become a channel member today. Get perks at just $2.99 a month. Press join on our channel page. There you go. Press join. $2.99 a month.
Experts. This is what we do. Okay, good. So we have a roll call question, do we not?
Yes.
Okay, good. So do you want the roll call or you want me to say it?
Go ahead.
Okay, the roll call. Tell us what city you're watching us from, and are we taking game 1? Are we getting the dub?
Against Vegas.
Against the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, mind you, we did have a preseason game against the Vegas Golden Knights. We had a couple of them. A couple where they're B squad, they're C squad, but one of them had quite a few of their starters.
Yes.
And we looked pretty good, if I recall.
I thought we looked pretty good. In fact, we won 4-1
exactly.
in that one, right?
Yeah.
I think that was Ethan Cardwell's 4-point night, 3 goals and assists. Another guy that I think next year he's going to be on this roster.
I think next year he'll definitely be in that running for having a roster
spot. If he keeps
spot.
up his trajectory of where he's going, I think so. He definitely made a name for himself with a 4-point night against not the B squad Vegas team. Like that was the A squad. Did you see those goals? One was an empty netter, but that first goal, he wired that thing in the top shelf from distance too. That was a goal scorer's goal in the NHL. If you look at the replay, I watched it a couple times. I was just like amazed by it. Aiden Hill was in goal.
Yeah.
And he stared him down going, who was that? After he scored, he skated over and was trying to read the back of his jersey. He gave him an extra long stare down of who did that, first of all? Who is this kid? So happy about that. But yes, the Sharks look good against in the preseason NHL caliber Vegas Golden Knights. So do I think the Sharks can take it? Yes. I think the Sharks can storm out of the gate, and I think they can take this game. What do you think?
I think they will take this game. Not that they can take this game. I think they will take it. And I think it's going to have a lot to do. And I know we're making fun of them in the chat a little bit here. I think it's going to have a lot to do with Ryan Reeves. I really do.
Jeez.
I honestly do. I think he's one of those guys. They had him, and then he gets under your skin and all that other stuff.
He hasn't been on that team in years.
I understand that, but there's still some guys on that roster that remember him there, I'm sure. and he's going to be agitating them instead, and it's going to be, the shoes on the other foot here. So I think he's going to have a big part of that. Now, again, on the score sheet, no, probably not. But all the intangibles, the things that he's good at, I think he's going to get under their skins. He's going to throw them off just a little bit. And the guys like, Macklin and Skinner, right, to Foley, I think they're going to capitalize off of that little bit of just disarray. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be there for this game. So, I think we talked to somebody on Twitter. I can't remember who it was. But they were... You knocked that off. Jeez, man. So we were talking to somebody on Twitter, and they were asking if we were going to the game as well. And we talked to them and said, yeah, we are. And I don't know, maybe we'll do some sort of a meetup kind of thing or something like that. Sure. Intermission, get a big picture with folks or something like that. That'd be cool. So, yes, we will be at the game. If you guys are going to go to, please actually let us know in the chat down there, just so we know who to look out for, I suppose. So
perfect.
All right, good stuff. Okay, we want to move on from this one here. Well, actually, no. I said that we're taking game one. You said we're taking game one.
Yes.
What are the people saying?
Got beat off walls.
They got beat off walls.
Arnold De Leon from Cupertino is expecting the Sharks to win. Debbie, who's here, said you're in San Jose. Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
And I believe the Sharks will win. Nick W. is in Turlock. We're taking it. As a famous Shark said, that's one. Now, just a reminder. Last season, it took the Sharks until the
November?
10th game. No, that was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Last season was October 28th, because we looked this up earlier.
Yes, you did.
October 28th.
Give yourself credit. We didn't look anything up. You looked it up. Yeah, there you
Thank
go.
you. The 10th game of the season, and it was against the Utah Mammoth, of the Utah Hockey Club at the time.
It was the Hockey Club.
They were down 4-1 going to the third period and stormed back and won 5-4 in that game. And that was like a, they were down 4-1 and everyone's like, oh, here we go again. This game's over. It's the 10th loss. We're going to be the worst team again, just like the season before. The season before, they went to the 12th game and they beat Philadelphia in November. They were winless in October. So I'm hoping they do not go until the end of October this year. I'm hoping they get it done right away. And if you look at last year, I don't want to harp too much on last year. It's a very different team. But they had, 2 10-game losing streaks.
Yeah.
If you cut those in half, that's 20 extra points right there. 20 extra points in the standings. That's a lot. That's where I think the difference is going to be this year. I think they're not going to have those 10-game losing streaks. I think they're going to go up and down, but they're not going to string together that many losing streaks. For one, their goaltending is way better, I think, this year than last year. Last year was good with Blackwood, but he got traded so early that I think it just derailed the Sharks in terms of kind of where they're going. Yeah, granted, he lost 10 games, 9 games before, but they also didn't have Celebrini those first dozen games.
Right.
So I think this year, with a healthy team, they're looking much better. I think they're going to get that first win. I think they're going to be feeling good about themselves. I think they can surprise people. Now, they're not going to make playoffs, but I think it's going to be a much better season than last year.
I think they take the dub, and they do like Shorzy says, and you set the tone. Set the tone for the season. There you go. So that's what we're thinking. Hopefully, everybody else here seems to be with us on that one. And we'll see you guys on Thursday, and hopefully we're celebrating a nice Sharks win. What you got?
A guy in his dogs thinks he's from Roseville, and he predicts a cup final this year and raise the banner.
Yeah, I saw that too. You guys are hilarious. Sharks will shock the world. Yes, I hope so, Colin. Okay, moving on. We're going to talk about some predictions. We've only got a few kind of things that we were going to bring up here and talk about, but we want this to become kind of a beginning of the season ritual for us, something that we can lay out at the very beginning so that we have something we can go back to and take a look at instead of piecemeal trying to find it throughout all the different videos that we've done.
Hopefully we're patting our past selves on the back. saying, good job for predicting correctly instead of laughing in our faces for being so horribly wrong.
Honestly, there was the Macklin Celebrini points prediction that you had that was like so spot on.
I think I nailed it.
2 points.
No, I thought I got it exact.
I think it was he had 2 more assists than what you said.
Oh yeah, that's
something
what it
like that.
Same points. The goals and assists were off.
I think you nailed the goals. I think the assists were off by 2, something like that. I don't remember, but it was like so spot on. It was ridiculous. So yes, well done. So we're gonna start off with individual stats.
Sure.
Most goals for the Sharks. Aaron, who do you think is gonna have the most goals?
I'm going with Toffoli again. I'm gonna say he hits that 40 goal mark this year. It's a lot, but I'm ambitious.
Okay. I mean,
He's
especially
coming back, 40 goal scorer again.
I mean, again, I think the top 6 looks a little bit better than it did last season too. So
The power play, I think,
Yeah.
is better, and the second power play is better. I think they're both kind of deadly,
Okay.
finally two deadly power play lines.
okay.
So I think that's going to help him.
Very good. I'm gonna go with the Calder Trophy winning Jeff Skinner back in the day. I wonder if Logan Couture is a little still bitter about that
Gives
one.
him
or
crap
not.
when he's in the locker room and hangs out with him.
Right. I still like the joke about Skinner where they were saying like he made playoffs 1 year in his 15-year career and he's like, nope, don't like that. I'm gonna play for the Sharks. Anyway, I'm saying Jeff Skinner is gonna be the top goal scorer for the club, and I think he's gonna get 35. Which is a little bit of a departure from where he was last season and a couple seasons past. But I think he's got it in him, and I think he's going to get more ice time with the Sharks than he did with Edmonton and whoever else he was with, so that I think it's going to shine just a little bit more. Plus, he's going to have some pretty good players to play with instead of playing like third line minutes or whatever he was doing out over
Do
there.
you think Skinner finishes the season on the Sharks?
That is a great question. I kind of hope so, to be
I don't
honest.
think. I think he's going to get traded
Think
because
so?
he's going to do so well that other teams going to want him by the deadline.
Yeah, maybe. I think it wouldn't be out of the question if he did get moved, and that opens up the door for a guy like Cardwell you were just talking about.
Or
the Sharks,
Misa.
or well, Misa's already going to be on this roster because Misa's going to do so well. They're going to have.
But
they're
he
gonna
would
put him
have
on
a
there.
more regular. He would be in the lineup regularly compared to missing.
I got a feeling Misa's. It's going to take him a couple of games, and then he's going to be in the lineup regularly.
He's got to see what it takes.
Yeah.
There's competition there.
I mean, remember
Gotta
with
do it.
Will Smith, the same thing happened, right? They kept him out, in and out, and then all of a sudden I was like, okay, he's fine. Just leave him in, right? And he played the rest of the season. I think the same thing's going to happen with Misa.
Well, they had injuries too, so they had to fill in, and he's
Sure.
had to work through his stuff. And then as soon as they came back from that break last season, Smith was actually better forward than Celebrini in terms of points, which is weird to think.
I'm going to completely disagree with you. In terms of points, sure.
No, I'm saying
but
he
gonna
put up more points
yeah.
than Celebrini did in that span of whatever. I'm not getting into this. Go on, next one.
Moving on. Total most points. Most points. I think we're both in agreement here.
Celebrini.
Yeah, Celebrini.
I said 80.
You said 80. I said 85. I'm ambitious.
I think he's going to miss a few games, so 80 points will be a point per game.
I think he'll miss a few games, and he's going to go well over a point per game.
I like it.
Do you think he's going to have equal amount in terms of goals and assists, or he's going to? Most guys get more assists than goals.
I think he's going to have more assists. He'll probably be a 30 goal scorer.
Okay.
And get probably, that 40 to 50 assists.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, somewhere in that 25-30 goal range, and then the rest are assists.
He was healthy last year. I think he would have broke that 30.
Yeah.
He was at 25?
I think he was at 25.
Yeah.
In any case, yeah, so I think we're both in agreement there. Macklin Celebrini should be leading this team in points.
You know what, Kellen, thank you for posting that. We did not look at the Vegas odds. Celebrini's Vegas odds points are 71.5. And we're both saying over.
Oh, over.
Yeah.
Of course,
If he
of
can
course
stay healthy.
Vegas would say that.
If he can stay healthy.
Moving on, best goalie, and I'm guessing this is by save percentage, but I don't know. Did the Sharks say at the end of the season who their best goalie was?
No, who's going to get more wins? Who do you think will get more wins?
Okay, so it's by wins then.
I mean, they're going to be split pretty close to 50-50.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting them to probably get close to 40 games each.
Okay.
Barring injuries,
Yeah.
they're going to be around 40, 35 to 40 games total.
I think with Askarov, he is, as I said, the anointed one, right? I think he's the young guy. Young guys make mistakes. Young guys have bad days. Nedeljkovic, the wise, right? He's been there. He's the veteran. He knows what he's doing. He's seen it. He's scored a goal and got an assist in the same game. The guy's, he's ready. He's ready to go. So I think that just a little bit of what's it's just
Nickname them.
just a little bit.
Like they're knights.
Yes, he's the knight. No, not a golden knight. I think that Nedeljkovic is going to bring just a little bit more in terms of that poise, right? That ability to kind of forget when things go bad and bounce back, be a goldfish, right? I think he's going to have a little bit more of that to his game, whereas Askarov is the future, but he's going to have to go through some of these hard times before he can really realize what he is going to be, right? So I think Nedeljkovic is going to turn out to be, statistically maybe, the better of the two goaltenders for this season. Obviously, I think down the road, Askarov's going to be the better goaltender. Almost in the league, he's going to be one of the better goaltenders, right? That's what I think he's going to be. So, but for this season at least, I think Nedeljkovic is going to edge him out.
I mean, forget how old he is. He's 23. Askarov's 23. Nedeljkovic is only 29. He's not. That's like prime. 28, 29 is about prime for goaltenders.
What I'm saying, right? He's there. He's in his prime, right? So, in any case, I think he's going to edge out Askarov. Now, what you thought? Would you think differently, or do you think the same?
I think Askarov is going to be,
okay,
quote unquote, the better goalie in terms of more wins. He'll be more of the, I guess the top goalie. Better save percentage, better win. Maybe not save percentage. I don't know.
Okay.
I think he's going to get slightly more minutes, and he's going to get a few more wins than Nedeljkovic.
Which is interesting because he is younger. He is the rookie, but you're thinking he's going to get more games than
I think his skill is just a little bit more than Nedeljkovic. Okay. Nedeljkovic is a good goalie, and he's a veteran.
Yeah.
So he understands what it takes. And goalies it's a mental game more than anything.
Yeah.
But Askarov has that edge of, I think he's just a little bit more athletic, a little bit more skill, but he doesn't have that, experience yet. So he's going to be. We're going to see growing pains with him.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Nedeljkovic is there for. When those growing pains hit, you can put him to the side, and Spear can work with him to get some stuff done while he's not playing in games and come back stronger.
Little bit of an aside, but still related to a Sharks goalie. Well, Barracuda goalie, I guess. My TV broke. I had to buy a new TV, and when I went in and got a new TV, the guy I was talking to said, it was a Sharks goalie that was in here too. I go, he goes, he bought the same exact TV that you. So I have the same TV, size and everything. It's a beautiful TV, by the way, as Jakub Škarik, who's slowly becoming one of my favorite names to say, Škarik. There you go. So anyway, I have the same TV as Jakub.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it.
Which I thought was interesting, but okay. There you go.
Get on with it.
Best rookie. How do we define best rookie?
Cool. I'm defining this as at the end of the year, the Sharks always send out a survey to media asking to vote for, I'm talking about the Sharks rookie of the year, not the
Calder.
NHL, not Calder.
Yeah.
But the Sharks own who's the best player, who is the whatever. So they always have a rookie. What's it called?
Top
Oh,
rookie.
I'm not gonna lie, it was, a lot last, month, and
Anyway, I think it's going to be Askarov.
Voted as best rookie. Yes, of course.
Best Sharks rookie.
Right.
Askarov, I think.
Okay, so you're thinking Askarov.
Over Misa, over Dickinson, and over...
I'm still of the mind that Misa's going to get time.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to shine. Now, I think that, again, he's going to be in the very beginning of the season, probably not getting as many games in. But just like Will Smith did, as soon as they look and they see, this kid's got it, he's fine, he's in, and I think he's going to blow everybody away. Again, for me, Celebrini Light is Michael Misa, so I'm looking for very big things for him in the latter half of this season when I guess he's starting to get more games in and more ice time. So that's what I'm hoping for out of him, and I think he's going to take that opportunity and run with it, and he's really going to shine and will be named the Sharks' top rookie. So either way, it's awesome that we have a guy that is a forward, a defenseman, and a goaltender who could be all in the running for the same award, if you will, from the Sharks. It's obviously just nothing special from the Sharks themselves, but it's just kind of cool that we have that many young, promising prospects in all positions. Again, when you're talking about a reason to be excited for the season, a reason to watch the season, that's it right there. Every position, we've got a guy who is potentially one of those dudes that is going to make this Sharks roster a decade-long thing to have to be reckoned with. You know what I mean? So, in any case, that's what I would be doing. I'd be watching for these guys. So, I think Michael Misa. But
about every position the Sharks have right now, there's a player that could potentially be an all-star at some point in their career, right? Askarov is one. Celebrini's going to have multiple. Will Smith's another one. Eklund might get some.
Yeah.
Dickinson might get some. So these guys are really the core of the team, and they're coming together, and they're also very, very young.
Yeah.
They're all under 23 or 23 and under, right? Including Askarov. So these guys are it's exciting time to watch because they are so young, and you're going to get used to hearing those names a lot and seeing their faces everywhere. And you're going to be telling your friends that you need to start watching the Sharks because they're exciting to watch. I have a couple of the coaches on my son's soccer team that I coach with they know I do Shark stuff, and they always constantly ask, like, how's the team going to be? Who should I watch for? They text me when they go to Barracuda games, like, who are the prospects that I need to look for?
Yeah.
And speaking of Barracuda real quickly, that team is stacked. They are going to be good. Like, they were good last year. They were good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they were great. They were good. Now they are going to be really good, and I would fully expect them to be, I don't know about leading their division, but being up there in a playoff spot the entire season. They're going to be fun to watch. You're going to see some of those guys get called up to the Sharks, depending on injuries and stuff. But Musty, Chernishoff.
Well, you just said Cardwell, and then Bergenda was another guy that had a fantastic preseason.
Yep.
So he'll be down there as well. So, and then again, who can forget Luca Quignoni?
And Beestead is another one.
Just a lot of guys. And the guy that has my TV, Shkarik, is in that. So. No? Okay.
Carrier is the other goalie, right?
Yeah.
He's down there.
He's
also going to be pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then, Davis? The other goaltender. He's not there, but he looked promising too.
Yes.
In a little bit of time that we saw him.
Raw, though.
Absolutely.
Years of,
But he looked really good and really promising, so someone to look forward to. Regardless.
That's going to be like, he'll be Askar's backup in about 5 years.
Yeah, maybe.
4 to 5 years from now.
Yeah. Well, Ravens cheeseburger.
I keep saying burger. Ravens burger. It's Ravens Bergen.
Yeah, Ravens Bergen. Yeah, there you go. The last of the individual stats, and this one's probably not one that we're going to have next season, but how many PIMs, penalties in minutes, is Ryan Reeves going to have?
I said... Did I write 90? I did write 90. I think I meant to say 80, but I'm going to go with it.
You're going to go with 90?
90.
Okay.
I'll say 90
All right.
minutes.
I'm going to say 50 is what I said.
It's going to be a couple of misconducts in there that's going to jump them up for 15 minutes each.
Yeah.
And I think, 90.
Couple of fights. He's not going to fight every time he plays, and he's not going to play every game. We already talked about that.
Who fights him anymore? Nobody wants to fight him.
Yeah. I mean, you get the odd, like, what's his name, Rempe or whatever, right?
Yeah, but
you get the odd big boy like that thinks they got something to prove, right? Then you've got the guy that goes and runs somebody and he has no choice but to fight.
That's what it's more going to be,
right?
Like. Someone's going to take some liberties on some players, and Reeves going to come in and on his next shift and make sure everyone knows the sheriff is in town and to not mess with them. So that's where I think he's going to get his penalty minutes.
Okay. I'm still sticking at 50. 90 would be amazing. Would be outstanding. So I was looking at some of his penalty minutes through the past seasons. And just looking at how many games and whatnot.
I blindly said that.
Yeah,
I
know.
Not look at his stats at all. I'm going to look right now.
I aimed for where I thought it might actually land based on some historical.
I mean, last year he only played 35 games for Toronto, and he had 28 minutes. The year before that was 49 games. He had 49 minutes. So, okay, 90's a bit ambitious.
It's ambitious, dude.
He hasn't had that since he was on the Penguins.
Right?
He had 84 minutes. Oh, man.
It's okay. We'll say... You wanted to say 80. We'll change it to 80 for Aaron. There you go. Okay, team. We're talking about the amount of points. Now, we do have... Before we get to the graphic, let's say what we think and what we thought, and then we'll show the graphic because we didn't look at this graphic prior to. So, in terms of points for the team, how many points do you think this team's going to end up with?
I'm going to say 78 points, which is a bit ambitious again. But I'm a believer that they are turning things around and, again, taking half of those games that they lost by a goal and turning those into wins. That's 20, 30 points in the standings. So, I think compared to last year, I think that's where they're going to end up.
Yeah, I'm going to end up saying 75, which I think is still over what the projections are. But I'm going to say 75, which is really close to what you're saying. We're essentially saying the same thing really here. But I'm trying to take into account that some of these guys are going to get moved by the trade deadline. And some of those games that were maybe we might have taken a win or maybe like, an overtime loss and get a point out of or something like that where we wouldn't have those guys in the lineup anymore. And I think that's going to affect us just a little bit. So, but still, a nice increase would be 75 or 78 points. Remind the people, because I think you just had it up. How many points did we have
last year? I was just looking at last year's standings. 52 points last year. Now, I want to say the year before that was like 51. Like it was within.
It was an improvement.
Sure. I think the Sharks are getting better, but I think there's other teams that are getting worse.
Yeah.
And that's where I think they're going to kind of get higher than where they are. And honestly, I think the goaltending is really going to help them. None of those goaltenders are going to be traded. Like Blackwood
Yes.
was solid last year, or even 2 years ago. He was solid. He had a pretty good year 2 seasons ago, and took that into the beginning of last year and was looking pretty good. And then he got traded. I think that really just kind of derailed them. And then even Granlund got traded a little on the earlier side.
Yes.
Like not right at the deadline, but earlier. That also took a lot of wind out of their sails. So we'll see less of that this season. Less early trades, I think, this year.
Okay.
This year, I think Greer is, obviously they're building. They're not tearing down anymore. Some players are going to get traded, like the veterans that are on their last year of the contract, most likely will get traded. We might see Ferraro get traded because he's in the last year of his contract, and there's already kind of a logjam in the defenseman area.
Didn't we say there was like 5 contracts, like UFA contracts on the defensive side, right? That are 1 year.
Yeah, I'll look right now. It's Letty, Klingberg, Ferraro, Liljegren, Desharnais, and Mook Madillen's on the last year.
He's RFA though.
Yeah, he's RFA. Yeah. But 5 UFAs, and then we have Orlov. He's got 2 years.
And Ryan Ellis.
Well, we won't see Ryan Ellis play. But Orlov might be the only defenseman on the roster currently that we see next season in terms of veterans, I guess. Because we'll see Mook Madillen, we'll see Dickinson. But the other ones will probably all be gone at some point.
Well, I mean, the idea, though, is that if these guys get out of the way, now I think Colin had just said that some of the guys are in the way of some of these younger guys playing, right? And that might be the case with all of these defensemen that are on these 1-year contracts. If somebody is doing well and they enjoy the team and they want to stay, nobody else is interested, and we're not going to be able to trade them away or whatever else. He may give them another year, another 2 years, whatever else it is. But some of these guys are going to be gone, and it's going to open the door for some of the other guys. Now, maybe a more stable and steady time with Sam Dickinson in the lineup, right? Yeah. Or maybe Luca Cagnoni gets a call up. Or any of these other guys who have shown that they've actually got some NHL caliber to their play, maybe get that shot instead of going out and getting a different free agent or instead of trading for a guy, right? But at some point, the roster cannot be filled with all rookies and whatnot, right? Or all guys that are just making their way out of the AHL. At some point, you do have to go and bring in some playoff caliber players because you're going to start making your run. And hopefully that's sooner than later. But as for this season, at least, yes, there are a bit of a logjam there, maybe holding some of those guys back. But it's all part of the process. And, again, we're not going to playoffs this season. So, again, part of the process.
Of all those players that we just listed, those 5 defensemen, I feel like Liljegren is probably the only one that would possibly get re-signed and stick around. Now, there are teams that might be, wanting his services and trade for him, but I could see him being brought back because he's still kind of youngish, right-handed shot, and the Sharks are kind of lacking that right now. Yeah. I mean, Klingberg, I think Klingberg is a one and done. Yeah. He's going to be gone. Letty, kind of the same thing. I don't know if Letty would get re-signed, but Liljegren I could see re-signing.
Okay, so we didn't look at the graphic for the points.
No, I can pull up.
So let's take a look at the graphic for the points. Here's JFresh. Go ahead, read this one off here.
So JFresh kind of runs some simulations, and then they have their own. You can see their columns kind of with a fourth from the right. And then they posted some other ones that have also said. So the Athletics said 71 points. The betting line 71 points. Money Puck has the Sharks at 81 points. It's kind of like where we have them going. Some other ones, but their average is about 72 points. Chicago's at 73, Seattle's 78, the Ducks are 79. I mean, those that's 5-win difference right there between the Sharks and Nashville from 11th to 16th. 5 wins. Yeah. That's not that big of a variable. Mm-hmm. So those bottom teams, I think, are just going to kind of leapfrog each other all season. I do think the Sharks are better than Chicago. I do think the Sharks are better than Seattle. I think the Ducks are about 1 year ahead of where the Sharks are in terms of their development and where they are in their process of their rebuild. So I do think the Ducks are a little bit better. Calgary, I think with Dustin Wolf, if anything happens to him, they are screwed. If he could stay healthy and play 50-plus games, I think they're going to be in good shape. Nashville, they were so bad last year, and surprisingly so. I think they're going to bounce back a little bit, but I do think the Sharks could be over Seattle and over Chicago. I think Chicago is honestly probably going to tank for McKenna.
You know what's funny looking at these numbers is that the lowest numbers here, and you can see it as the darkest red, 3 of those, 66, 68, 69 points, are all for Chicago. The Sharks don't have any that are projecting 60 points.
Yeah.
And the only other one is Hockey Viz saying that Anaheim's going to end up with 67. Other than that, the majority of the lowest point totals are estimated to come from the Chicago Blackhawks. And it's funny because I think someone else was looking at the Chicago Blackhawks roster and going, what are they doing not building around Bedard?
Yeah, they're not.
There's nothing going on around him.
And there was a lot of talk. I think we mentioned this last time. There was a anonymous poll of NHL players, right? I think it was 20 or 30 players. 24 of them, they voted, like, there's 3 players, right?
Face of the league, yeah.
The face of the future of the NHL. Yeah. And it was Celebrini, Bedard, and I forgot who the other one was. Maybe it was McKenna. McKenna was coming in next as the top pick into next season. And it was 24 said Celebrini. So the peers, everyone around the NHL is recognizing how great Celebrini is. We keep talking about it. Obviously, we're slightly biased being on a Sharks show, but Celebrini makes everyone around him better. Bedard doesn't quite do that. And I'm not saying Bedard is a terrible player. He's a very good player, but he's not the same caliber as Celebrini. I think Celebrini is a step above him. That's the difference that you're going to see is Bedard's going to be a 100-point player. Celebrini is going to be a 120-point player. Like, he's just going to be just a step above that. I'm talking about in their prime. Mm-hmm. So I think the Sharks are doing Celebrini right by building around him. Bedard, they're kind of just... I think they're trying to get McKenna. I think they're trying to get that one... Kind of like how the Sharks just got Misa, right? As their second-line center. They also have Will Smith. Yeah. Like, they have 3 top-tier guys that are going to be together for the long term. And Chicago has... Bedard.
Nazar.
And Nazar is the other one. He was also very good, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have another top-tier prospect like that. They took Lashunov. He's a defenseman. Yeah, he's a defenseman. He's going to be good, but kind of like Dickinson, right? Like, he'll be a good player, very good player, but not superstar status. Not quite up there.
Yeah.
So, they also don't have a goaltender. They just got Spencer Knight, but they don't have an Askarov in their system. They don't have all the pieces that the Sharks have.
And I think the reason we bring that up is not so much to analyze Chicago, but that Mike Grier, and a lot of people didn't like what Grier was doing. They don't like the teardown. They don't see where it's going. But this is why. Grier has actually done a pretty good job of starting to build around Macklin Celebrini, building around the young guys, bringing Michael Misa in, your second-line center of the future. But then you've also got guys that in Will Smith, who was supposed to be a second-line center, and they're moving him to the wing. You've got a guy in Eklund who's going to be on the wing. You've got veterans that are coming in. As the years go on, I know someone had just said, you think we have a problem? It was Peter St. John said we have a problem bringing in UFAs because we're on a lot of no-trade lists. That's going to change in a year or 2, right? Anybody who can see what the Sharks are doing right now, they're going to be interested in coming to this team because they know exactly what... Like, I keep going back to when Connor McDavid first came in the league, and again, who cares about Milan Lucic, but the reason he wanted to play for Edmonton was because of that guy. It wasn't even because, they're turning things around him. No, it was that one guy. So I think other players are going to see what Michael Misa and Macklin Celebrini can do, and you're going to bring in guys that are veterans. Look at Jeff Skinner, for instance. Look at Tyler Toffoli coming and signing 4 years. That's a guy who has some foresight, right? He knows what these guys are going to bring. He knows what they're going to be able to do. So I think we may have that problem right now, or maybe even just last season. I think if you ask those same guys this season and they were able to change their contracts around, maybe we wouldn't be on that no trade list. Maybe it's if I have like 5 years or whatever, 4 years that I can go on the next contract, I wouldn't mind playing with those guys for that long. So I don't think it's going to be a problem in the very near future. That's my take on that. But
yeah, I think free agents are going to be coming. Big free agent names are going to be coming. They're getting to that point where Grier now has too many prospects and there's log jams.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to get moved now for established players. That's kind of where the Sharks are finally getting to, which is, I think, what Grier wanted to do all along, right? He said he wanted to build those up, get as much draft capital as possible, get competition for each position and each line and everything so that you're working your tail off all the time because you're always looking over your shoulder. Now you're getting to that point where, these guys, like right now, right? There's a couple guys that the Sharks could trade, like they're defensemen specifically, right? We just talked about this. And that's breeding competition and it's making the team better, but we're going to be bringing in more established players coming back. And this summer, I think Greer talked about how there's some players that didn't work out. They wanted to sign some bigger name players, but I think term was an issue for some of them. They wanted longer term, and Greer doesn't want to. And the other one, people keep talking about this, and I'm going to bring it up, the no tax teams.
Oh, God.
The no tax teams in the States, or the no state tax teams. Florida's one of them. It's a little overblown. People in the comments are talking about it. It's a little overblown because each player, wherever they play, is where they pay their state taxes. So when the Sharks go into Florida, they're not paying state tax. When they're playing in San Jose and they're playing in California, they're paying tax. So half their games are taxed, at least, right? Then when you go to play the other teams. So those Florida teams, they're not paying tax on their home games, but on their away games they are. So it's saving them some money, but it's not that significant where it's making that big of a difference. I'm sure they're going to make it up a little bit, but do you want to play in Florida? Do you want to live in Florida? I don't.
Not particularly.
No. Would you want to be in California?
I would, obviously, yes.
I think that's kind of a destination place. I'm not too worried about San Jose not becoming a destination. Also, look at what the organization is doing with the alumni. How many alumni legends are working in the Sharks? We have Ricci, Nabokov, Thornton, Marlowe, Klo was here.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones. Like, they stick around. Scott Hannon. These guys grow up knowing these players just like we did.
Yeah.
And now they're working with them, right? So that's a big deal. They obviously saw something and want to be here.
I mean, not to mention Mike Greer, who was an ex-Shark and is
go.
now the GM as
Right.
well. And the GM before that, right, in Doug Wilson. He was a player very briefly for the Sharks, but
Greer's done
wanted to stay here.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job filling out his staff, way more than what Wilson did, and doing other things like player development. We never really had a player development before. We didn't have people checking in on the prospects. You just do your job, right? These guys are checking on the prospects. Todd Marchant is the one that's in charge of, I think, player development. He was in Anaheim doing that for a long time too, and then Greer poached him, which is great because they were former teammates in Edmonton back in the day. Yeah. So Greer surrounds himself with people that he trusts and knows and loves, former teammates, gets them jobs, which is great because a lot of times when you leave the NHL, what do? Right? Like, that was all you knew. Now you can't play anymore. So now they're kind of getting life after hockey, but still being in hockey, still being involved. But my point, big circle here, coming back to this, is...
Guys, get on with it.
Players, free agents see this and want to be a part of
Yes.
it. They want to be a part of the family. San Jose is a destination place. They're seeing what Celebrini is doing. They're seeing what Greer's doing with his team. It is turning around, and it's coming.
Yes, I would agree with you 100%. Very happy with what Mike Greer is doing, and the folks that don't like it, I don't understand you. I don't get it. I don't know what you're looking at, and I would love to have maybe not a discussion. I just like to hear your thoughts.
Well, Shang, if I knew that answer, then I wouldn't have. We would have started off better.
100%. If I knew that, I'd feel a lot better. Regardless, the last of the predictions, because we were talking about predictions, is what place they're going to finish in.
Yes.
Now,
I think we had one more graphic too, didn't we?
Oh, did we?
Jason? Yeah. We have another graphic here of prediction standings. This is everybody.
Yeah.
This was, I think, the other one. Didn't quite show them, but this is the playoff standings and each division here. So this one shows the Sharks actually above Seattle, and this one comes from AdvancedHockeyStats.com. So it's showing Seattle as the worst placed team in the league, which is interesting. And they also have Chicago at 78 points, which I think is too high, personally. But Montreal at 75 points. The Sharks are right there. So, again, everyone keeps saying 70, 71, 70, 72.
Yeah.
But no one puts them in 60s. No one puts them in... I think maybe one had them in the 80s earlier.
Again, the funny thing is that one right there is 78, but the previous ones with it was all the Jay Fresh and whoever else 78 for Blackhawks. I'm saying.
Sorry,
yeah. So for Blackhawks it said 78, but then we looked at the previous one that we had just looked at, and they had the most where it was like 60 something, 66 or 67 or whatever, right? So obviously, big disparity in what people think about Chicago Blackhawks, but. I don't know. I guess they just expect Connor Bedard is going to carry that team to victory. I don't know. It's not one guy. No. It's just not one guy. And again, that's what Mike Greer has done. He's made it not one guy. He's built around. I think we're going to do a lot better than Chicago will this season. So we'll see. But what place do you think they will? Now, on that chart, we were what
Second to last.
Second to last, but that was in that division, just the division.
Overall in the
I was
league.
saying overall in the league.
Still showed us second last.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then that would be 31st. So where do you think that they're going to end up?
I still am a believer that they're going to improve and be in the bottom 10 of the league. So I still think they'll be a lottery pick, but I think they're going to end up around 25th place. Overall in the whole league, 25th place.
Given that, I mean, previously I had said we're not going to end up any worse than 20th. Sorry, I take that back. Remember that? Remember when I said that?
Last year?
No, for this season, I said we're not going to end up worse than 20th. And I would believe that still, if not for how many one-year contracts are on defense. There's going to be guys just constantly on the way out.
Yeah.
So, I'm a little bit more down to earth here. I'm going to say 27th. I think there's a small handful of teams. Kraken was one of them. I think Chicago, we're going to beat Chicago out. I mean, I think teams like Nashville, they kind of feel like they've been kind of on the down. I don't know. I feel like something's going to happen with one of these teams where everybody's thinking they're not going to be that bad, and then all of a sudden it's going to come crashing
Look
down.
who's coming into the league as the first overall pick.
Okay.
This kid is supposed to be like the next Celebrini, the next kind of it kid, right? A top tier franchise player. Pittsburgh's on their way down. Mm-hmm. There's going to be other teams that are in the Sharks, kind of in the Sharks boat, where they're going to be selling off players.
Right.
I think Pittsburgh is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole, Crosby and Malkin are going to be gone in a year or two. They need that next cornerstone franchise player. And I think if they can get McKenna...
You're saying gone retired?
Malkin is going back after the season. This is his last one.
Okay.
He's going back to Russia. Crosby, I think, is on a 1-year deal, maybe.
Okay.
And he's turning 39, 40. So he's got, he'd probably be another 1-year deal. But if they can land McKenna, he's going to be like Mario Lemieux. Stay an extra year, play with the kid, teach him the ropes, probably have him live with them, just like Mario did, and then transition, and that will be the Penguins thing. So Chicago wants them. Penguins are going on. I just think there's more teams that are going to be tanking, and they don't really tank, but they're going to be selling off their pieces earlier, I think, than the Sharks. And I think the Sharks are on the way up, and there's more teams going down. Yeah. That's why I think they're going to be higher than they were last.
That's actually why I'm thinking 27th, is because the Sharks are on the way up and it seems down. I like how ambitious you are, though. I'll take that. So
Boston's another one from Peterson.
Yes. Yeah. Boston has Pasternak, and that's about it. Yeah. So okay, I think we're done with the predictions. We're gonna take a look back at these at the end of the season and see how hilariously wrong we are on some of these things. But I don't know. We'll see. I think some of these we're gonna be fairly accurate. There's obviously going to be a big disparity between the Pims. For Ryan Reeves, I'm saying 50. You're saying bad. 80 or 90. I don't know, but
I'll say 80.
I'll
go back and
that's
say
a
80.
big swing.
Yeah.
So, in any case, moving on from that now, opening night festivities. I'm gonna let you take this one away.
Well, we are going to be there.
Yeah,
we're going to be there tomorrow or Thursday night, and they always do this for the first game of the season. They do kind of a red carpet or teal carpet walk-in. So they have all the players walking on the teal carpet. High five, autographs, all that stuff. And they're going to be doing it on Barack Obama Boulevard, which runs on the east side of the arena. They are renaming St. John Street to Sharks Way.
Nice.
Now, that's the street that I always take. I always go to San Pedro Market, park in the lot there, go to the market, walk through. It's kind of the back way, and you go on St. John, and you go underneath 87, and it's this dingy tunnel. And then you get into Little Italy, and then you come down to the arena. So they're rebranding that whole thing. I think it was somebody had talked to us about it at the draft party, that they're going to be working on this. So they're going to have some things going off today. Teal, what is it? Teal Town? Not Teal Town. Teal City Crew. They are doing the March to the Tank.
Yeah.
So they start off, I think, at San Pedro. And they go through that way, and they have drums, and they have scarves, and they're doing a whole thing. So there's a whole march from them down to the tanks that you can join. There's gonna be face painting, balloon artists. It's like a big party going on. There's a DJ. You can take pictures with the shark head. I think there's another shark head that's out there. And then the doors are gonna open up at 5:30 to go into the game. And supposedly there's a new light show that's going to be on the ice that they invested in. So it's going to look very different for the beginning of the game ceremony kind of thing. And then they bring everybody out on the ice.
Yeah.
And they do a team intro where they introduce every single player. And so it'll be a long night. They're also doing the bobblehead, the sleepover bobblehead. So we're going to get one of those. It's the Will Smith, Macklin Celebrini, and Tyler Toffoli bobblehead that... oh, wait. You can complete...
Now,
oh, hold on a second.
Yeah. This got me.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're getting the bobblehead with Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah.
Then there's the actual sleepover part with Tyler Toffoli, and you have to buy it for $35 that goes to the Sharks Foundation. What? Yeah, to get all 3 players together. And it comes together, I think, like a circle. So I think it's 2 half circles, right?
It's more than a half circle on the Will Mac part, and Toffoli is a little smaller portion of that. But it basically, when you put them together, it recreates the photo, right, of the sleepover. Yes. But you can separate them out so that you can see everybody instead of just seeing the back of Toffoli's head.
I think we'll get one for our set. I don't know where we're going to put it because I don't think it's going to fit on the
By
shelf.
the way, did you happen to see Mac and Will seeing the bobble?
Reaction? I saw Toffoli's reaction. I don't know if I saw their reaction.
Okay, Will and Mac looked at it. Like, yeah, that's cool. It looks nothing like me. Wait, which one's me? Is that you? Is that me? They were kind of oops. Yeah, like
ripping it
probably don't want to. I mean, we've done that on this show too, where we were not overly excited about things we probably should have been excited about. But oh well,
it's what it is. That does not look like Thornton.
No, it does not.
That looks like Bernsey. Because of the teeth.
It's because of the teeth. Anyway. Okay, so yes, if you want the Tyler Toffoli part of that bobble, you do need to spend the extra $35.
Yes.
And that does go to Sharks Foundation, which is
it's a donation.
Good. Yeah.
It's good. Goes to a good cause.
It's not really a donation if it's set $35, but okay, whatever. Anyway.
That's a donation.
Sure.
They sold half of them already.
They sold half of them already.
Wow.
Oh, they show at Meet the Sharks. 500 left for opening day. They only had 1,000 of them. This is a ball that's been dropped right here. Okay.
Aaron, will I get face painted? No, I'm bringing my son. I bet he might get his face painted. We'll see if we're there in time. I don't know what time we're gonna get there. Are you gonna get there super early?
I don't think I'm gonna get there super early. I'm gonna get there just early enough to enjoy some of the festivities, walk around a little bit, and then get inside the tank.
That's the other thing. My son, if I took him to all of it from start to finish, he'll be toasted. It's just too much stimulation for him.
So super producer Jason has the green lights here, and then he put this up on the screen. I'm guessing this is his way of poking me to say this. I did, because I didn't do it at all this whole time. Guys, if you'd like to support the show, you could do that a number of ways. One is right there on the bottom of the screen. Send a tip on Venmo at the Fin Factor. Every contribution goes towards gear, guests, and giveaways, which is true. So it's a great way to support the show. You can also do that by the super chat function. And if you do this after the fact, after the live, I believe it's super thanks is what they do. But in any case, you can support the show that way. You can also go to thefinfactor.com, check out any of the merch that we have for sale, and that also goes to the show. And you get something in return, which is awesome. So hats, shirts, sweatshirts, which I think you have a sweatshirt, but we don't have. Oh, Debbie has a sweatshirt, but she does not want to be on camera. So you're going to have to pretend that you can see Debbie with the sweatshirt on. It looks fantastic. Aaron, you are the member guy once again. So
yes.
There you go.
You can become a member by clicking on the Become a Member button somewhere on there. I don't know where it is. Right now it's $2.99 a month. I think what we're going to do, and we're working on doing some exclusive stuff for just members. So if you get in early now, it'll help. But we're going to add another tier in there, and I think we're going to start giving away some baubles and some swag and some jerseys, maybe some old jerseys that we have laying around, because we have a lot of stuff. In fact, Debbie just brought us some cool stuff. I don't know if you guys remember this stuff, but
we also still have these that we've not opened yet, and I think Aaron wanted to do. It looks like he has a black eye right here. Look at this.
I know, it's the
poor guy.
Upper Deck.
So we still have these, and at some point we're going to do something with these, and I'm sure it'll have something to do with our members.
I think what we're going to do is a members only show.
Yeah.
And the members will get first crack at any Sharks cards that pop up in there, and those ones are the ones from last season, so they'll have Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith in there as the rookie cards.
Yes.
Do you want a board for people to bid on, or something that we can?
A board, like one of the
Boards, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that would be fantastic.
yeah, we could talk about that too. Yeah, maybe we can
So
get some of those.
if you couldn't hear, Debbie was asking if we would like a board that maybe you guys could bid on or something for.
or for members only.
Yeah, for members or whatever. Yeah. So maybe something like that. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, so we're working on that, coming up with different tiers and different basically, you're a member after 6 months, then
Yeah.
you're going to be getting some free swag. Free.
There
It's
you
going to
go.
be going towards our show. So thank you for our current members. It's awesome that you joined. So if you want to join, click that button.
Thank you so much. There's nothing else for the show. We're done here.
That's all I got.
I
on
have
notes.
one public service announcement thing that I wanted to bring up here, and it's so in youth hockey they have cages on their helmets, right? Full blown cages and whatnot. Some kids use the bubble, the plastic, the plexi thing. So my son plays with a group of 12U players, and I'm take his helmet out here. So his cage, and I don't know if this is really going to do it justice. But his cage, if you can see right there.
Turn to the side a little.
Yeah, but you can see the dent right
Yeah.
there. So his cage, yeah. So it's a puck hit it here. You can see it's like this, right? I don't know if I'm doing it there. You can see. So this was a 12U player that took a shot.
Jeez.
And did that to my son's helmet. The mask is just completely dented in. So my public service announcement to you guys is if you are a parent and you have a kid that plays hockey, when they're on the ice, they have to have helmets on and during practice and everything anyway. But regardless, if your child wants to get on anywhere and just play, I would highly advise that they have a cage, because that would have been facial reconstructive surgery right there. So I'm very happy that he had that the cage did its job.
Would it have been forehead or eye?
That would,
Like
so it
nose?
would have been collarbone, except he went, and ducked into it. So he probably saved himself breaking his collarbone because, right? And I mean, you saw it, the metal's like dented in, right? So, just please don't let your kids get on the rink without having the proper equipment on. I know in inline, like we go to the rink sometimes and the kids are out there without their helmet every once in a while, and it's always like, no, get your helmet on. That is why. Okay,
Yeah.
so that again could have been like my son's face completely mangled, but the cage did its job. So that was my public service announcement to you guys.
We've seen NHL warm-ups of guys getting hurt because they skate without their helmets on, and it's not even a shot directly to him. It's off the post.
Deflection or something.
Yeah, usually off the post or crossbar and bounces and hits him in the face.
And what I will say to wrap that up is that, again, it was a 12U player, not a major 12U player.
Did you check his birth certificate?
2014.
You say he's 24 years
No,
old.
his 24 years old. He's a 2014.
We found him.
The rest of the team, the rest of the team is 2013 birth year. He's a 2014 birth year. He's the youngest kid on the team, and his shot did that. So can you imagine?
Is he a defenseman?
No.
Oh,
Can you
forward?
imagine? Can you imagine these NHL caliber shots?
Yeah.
And I see them hitting the plexi, and the plexi doesn't break. The visors,
Yeah.
those don't break.
You still want me to get in the goal?
Yeah, I do.
Against Scott Hannon?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about freaking fragile, okay?
In any case, yeah, please, guys, make sure that your kids are protected when they go out. Don't let them have the excuse. Just put the helmet on, please. Okay. So that's my PSA. Anything else that you want to say to the people here, Aaron?
The people.
Yeah,
I'm excited for Thursday.
Yeah.
It's Sharks hockey, and it's finally back.
We will figure out, I don't know if it's on like Twitter or Instagram or something to kind of put out like, hey, meet us here in the second intermission or whatever the case
I
is.
forgot where we're sitting. 206.
Something, yeah.
Sitting 206.
Yeah.
So we can meet out in front of...
We'll just
Two
let them know
or
wherever it
something.
is. We'll just let them know
Yeah.
where to meet us in the concourse somewhere. Okay. Very good. Okay, hey, we hope to see you guys there. It's going to be a great night. And if you're going to be there for the festivities, we hope you enjoy all the stuff that Jonathan Becker and team have done for you guys and will continue to do as the seasons move on. Very much looking forward to the renovation and all of the things that happen with that to enhance the experience for the Sharks. It's going to be a great next few years of Sharks hockey and Sharks experiences. So please, if you're not involved in it yet, please get into the tank. Get that place rocking again. It's going to be fantastic. Guys, I think that does it for the show. For Debbie and super producer Jason, I'm
Got
Paul.
beat off walls.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Aaron.
And we will see you. We will see you guys
Next week.
next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, check out our other content, especially interviews. You can interact with us directly through social media at The Fin Factor and on Instagram at Fin Factor. And don't forget to join our live streams on YouTube.
Visit our website at thefinfactor.com, where you'll find all of our episodes as videos or podcasts. You'll also find our exclusive merchandise to help support our show.